let us discuss about the next topic of the chapter, that is about the friction. So you have got idea about the friction. What is the meaning of the friction? So friction is like a rubbing of a two object, because of which, like suppose as for example us, we are able to move on a surface or on the road, or suppose as for example, because of the friction only we can write through a pen or write with a chalk on a board. Okay, so these are some applications of the friction. So this friction can also be divided into three parts, like we have the static friction, we have the kinetic friction, and we have the limiting force of friction. We'll be discussing one by one. Friction, as for example, why does a friction occurs in an object? Like suppose if you consider our hand, like one hand, and if you rub with the other hand, so we feel some force in our hand. Okay, why does it feel a force in our hand? Because the surface that we have, any other surface that we take, the surface is not totally smooth. It consists of a rough surface. Okay, so that rough surface, like suppose if I consider this is a surface, the surface is not totally smooth, it is slightly little bit consists of a ridges. This is called as a ridges. Okay, these are called as a ridges or called as a grooves. Okay, these are called as a grooves, which is because of the irregularity of the surface. If I move an object, okay, if I move an object, so that object also the below part, this also consists of ridges. It is not properly smooth. You cannot make a surface which is totally frictionless. That means there will be no friction at all. So this, when you move over the surface, as you can see, this ridges, okay, this ridges, when you move over this, so this will be getting interlocked. So as soon as it gets interlocked, so that object will be not able to move freely on the forward direction. Okay, so that is about the friction. Why does this friction occurs? Now this friction can be divided into your friction can be divided into static, okay, static, and we have the kinetic. Now what is static and kinetic friction means? The static friction, like suppose you are pushing an object, like suppose you are pushing an almirah from one room to the other room. Okay, from one room to the other room you are pushing an almirah, and suppose you are not able to move that almirah, okay, by one person. Suppose I am only pushing the almirah from one room to the other room, and now I am not able to move the almirah. Okay, so when that type of friction applies on that object, that is on the almirah. Okay, suppose as for example, this is one almirah, and pushing with a force F, I want to move from this door from one room to the other room. When I push this object, that means the almirah, I am not able to move the object. Why? Because the weight of the object is very high. Similarly, not only because of the weight, it will also provide a frictional force in the ground, which will be towards the opposite direction of your force. Okay, remember that when we apply a force on one object, the frictional force is always in the opposite direction of motion. So this will be a frictional force. So since you are not able to move this object, that means your object is at rest. So when the object is at rest and the friction is applied, that friction is called as a static friction. Clear? Next, suppose I am pushing the almirah. Suppose one more person from my family came and pushed the almirah. One more force is there, F1 and F2. So when my family member came and pushed this almirah, so suppose the almirah is about to move. Okay, the almirah is about to move. That means you are overcoming the frictional force applied by the almirah. Okay, so that at the point where you are able to move the almirah, it is about to move. That friction is called as a limiting force of friction. Okay, this is called as a limiting force of friction, which is equals to greater than equal to static friction. Limiting force of friction is greater than equal to your static friction. and suppose one more person from my family and came and pushed this almirah, and the almirah is moving. Okay, the almirah is moving. So that means the friction that is applied on this almirah, that will be your kinetic force of friction. Okay, static friction applies when the object is at rest. Kinetic friction is applied when the object is in motion, and the limiting force of friction is a maximum value of your static friction. After that, your object will be able to move. Okay, that means if you cross the maximum value of the static friction, so that will be changed to your kinetic friction. So these are the three types of friction. So if you want to write about the friction definitions, static friction you can write the force of friction. Static friction you can write the force of friction which exactly counterbalance the applied force. Which exactly counterbalance the applied force during the stationary state of a body is called as static friction. Again I am repeating, the force of friction which exactly counterbalances the applied force during the stationary state of a body is called as a static friction. Next you can write about the kinetic friction. Kinetic friction is a force of friction which comes into play when one body moves over the surface of another body is called as dynamic or kinetic friction. Okay, and in the limiting force of friction you can write this is the maximum value of static friction. Okay, then I go to the laws of friction and let us see some videos related with the friction.
R. Gravitational force, which is the weight of a body. Contact forces between moving pairs of links in a machine. Tension in cables. And tension or compression due to elongation or compression in springs. In this module, we will focus on contact forces. An example of a contact force is the force between a box and the table on which it is placed. The contact force between the box and the surface of the table can be resolved into two components. One along the normal to the surface in contact, and the other parallel to the surface. The component perpendicular to the surface is called normal reaction, and the force parallel to the surface is called friction.
So as I have already told you, see this is the object. When you move this object, this red line that is drawn, okay, the red arrow that is drawn, this is your normal reaction which is always perpendicular to the surface and above. Weight will be towards downwards, and this blue line, okay, this blue line it is already shown here. This blue line, like suppose suppose if I consider this surface, if I consider this pen, if I rub it over here, the frictional force will be along the surface. Okay, along the surface. This you can see. This blue line is along the surface. Frictional force is always tangential to the surface. Remember that friction is not applied here above. Okay, like suppose if I consider one object like this duster, frictional force is not applied here, okay, on the middle. It is always applied on where it is connecting with the ground. That means here, this will be your frictional force. Don't confuse with that. Okay, next.
Let us conduct a simple experiment to formulate an empirical relationship between normal reaction and frictional force. Place a cuboidal-shaped wooden block weighing 100 Newton on the wooden table top. The weight of the block will be acting vertically downward and will press the tabletop down. The tabletop will press the block up with a force equal to the weight of the block. The upward force of the tabletop on the wooden block is known as normal reaction. Let us now try to slide the wooden block by pulling the spring balance attached to the block. As we slowly pull harder on the spring balance, the friction force automatically increases and becomes equal to the applied pulling force. This automatic increase of the frictional force takes place up to a limit only. The frictional force at this point is known as limiting frictional force. At this point, the applied pulling force is equal to the limiting static frictional force. The block is at the point of impending motion. That is, the block is on the verge of moving but is not actually moving. We can repeat the experiment by placing the wooden block in different positions such that different surfaces are in contact with the tabletop. We will find that the limiting frictional force is same in all cases. If we repeat the experiment by using a stone and an iron block in place of a wooden block, we will find that the limiting frictional force is different in all cases. Limiting friction increases as the mass of the block increases. We find that the limiting frictional force is independent of the contact area between the two surfaces. When the block actually starts moving, the frictional force experienced by the block is known as the kinetic friction force.
So we have seen the different examples. Also I have shared, also you can see in the video that we have done, there is a different examples are related with the static, kinetic and the limiting force of friction. Okay, so in the next class we'll be discussing some more topics related with the friction, that is about the laws of friction I'll be discussing. Okay, so thank you for today. We'll be discussing the next class. Thank you.